About some of the ways you all are going to go out there and recruit individuals to come in here, and what type of individuals you're looking for. What kind of backgrounds do you think are successful to make sure that people that come through this transitional house get reintroduced back into society and are successful with all the things that we offer through this program?
Well, for one, anybody that we hire here, they have to have the qualifications, obviously, and they have to understand that they're dealing with human beings that have real needs and issues. If they're not coming in the door with the mindset, I'm here to serve rather than be served, then that's a strike against them.
Right.
Understanding you're dealing with human beings that need all kind of assistance from top to bottom, community service, case management, life skill classes, medication issues, how to budget money, how to essentially put your whole life back together.
Right.
If you're not up for that, this is not where you need to be. And to know that opens up the opportunity to learn everything else. Because you can learn anything, but if you don't know you're dealing with human beings that really need that assistance, then what you know is not beneficial. It just becomes another stick you use to beat somebody over the head with. And again, I keep stressing, this house is not about that.
Right. That's good to hear. So one of the things, Amanda, it's my personal belief that, you know, I don't care if you go to county jail for 1 day, or if you have a 1 year sentence, or if you're in, you know, federal prison, or for 25 years. It's hard for me to comprehend and say that somebody that went in there, they went in there with a stable mind, that they're going to come out with some type of mental issues. I think the chances are against them.
Absolutely.
Talk about some of the case management work that you see being valuable here at the transitional house to make sure people are stabilized. We talked earlier about medication, making sure it's the right dosage and the right time and everything. Kind of give me your personal experience, or your personal opinion on how this transitional house is going to help those individuals.
Yes, I think the main thing, and again, Will mentioned it before when he mentioned that this is a community. I think that's the key part. When you know that everybody involved, everybody that the folks here will be interacting with, living with, being around on a day-to-day basis, are involved because they want to see them succeed. And so I think, like with case management, being able to honestly say, I can't do this. I mean, there are times, because there is a whole list, you know, depending on how long someone's been in, setting up bank accounts, transportation, riding a bus. It could be for the first time they've ridden a bus.
Right.
I mean, I was scared to death to have to ride a bus.
Right.
Just because, like, how do I know when to get off? How do I know, you know, I wanted my sponsor, like, can you just ride the bus with me? Can we just do a trial run?
Right.
To know that those kind of folks will be here.
Right.
That even if the case manager, that might not be her role, she can get somebody to, like, hey, yeah, I'll see if, you know, somebody connected will ride the bus with you.
Right.
Or go to the bank with you. Or just walk alongside with you. Like, that was the biggest thing that I wanted somebody. I didn't want your money. I mean, obviously we need money for here at the house, but I didn't want your money. I didn't want you to give me anything. I just wanted your time. I wanted you to walk with me so that when I panicked or got scared or saw something new, I could have somebody beside me saying, you can do this, or here, let me show you.
Right. And that's why this program right here, as I went through this presentation, this program is the truth, because it talks about that support, right? And a lot of times I can tell you I work with individuals that they were violated on their parole because they didn't actually go down and take a urine test or something. Well, you know, in North Carolina, you know, it's hard to get around, right? It's hard to get around, and you have somebody in a rural area. It's not easy for them to jump on a bus and get somewhere, even if they have the money, even if they have the time, even if they have the knowledge on the transportation system. One of the things I liked about this house that's located on 1101 North Mangum Street in Durham, North Carolina, is the fact that it's right in the downtown area, right? There's a bus depot that will take you anywhere in Durham, not too far from here. So maybe you'll take 2 buses max, you could probably get anywhere in Durham. I like the location of that, and I like the fact that it's going to be individuals here that are going to help you set up a bank account, train you or teach you on how to take buses, to get the doctor appointments, right? Get to see a probation officer, those sort of things. I think those are critical, so I'm glad that you mentioned that.
And knowing you have an address to receive mail.
Absolutely.
Right.
I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, when I got released from prison, I had a home to go to,
Right.
which gave me a sense of self. I have an address that I could put on documentation.
Right.
I could receive mail there. My driver's license came to that address in the mail. When you know you have that, it changes your perception of yourself.
Okay.
When you don't have an address that you can call your own, it leaves you feeling so much more vulnerable to society.
Right.
You feel like you don't exist. And when it comes to what it takes to sustain a house like this, funding is a major aspect of it.
Right.
You definitely need donors, you need contributions, you need people also who care enough to understand how significant this is, because as I said, last I checked, they say about 70,000 people get released back into society from jails and or prisons. With that number, what do you want them to do?
70,000
Yes.
is that annual in North Carolina?
Yes.
Okay, 70,000 annually.
So, if that number is even halfway accurate, what do you want these people to do? We all want them to not reoffend and go back to prison.
Right.
So we need places like this that are sustained financially to be available, and hopefully it'll sprout out to be one more in another community.
There's no doubt about that, because that 70,000 number or 35,000, right now we only have 16 beds here. It's about 6,000 or 7,000 square feet. And let's talk about operational costs. It's going to be very expensive to have, to heat this place, to keep it cool in the summertime. In North Carolina, you have 100-degree heat waves come through. You have security surveillance cameras all over the facility. You have egress fire escapes that had to be put in for regulatory requirements. This is an expensive operation, but it's still far cheaper than having somebody incarcerated and releasing them.
Absolutely.
And one of the things, I don't have the statistics right now, but let's say those individuals that are released back into society, how many of them fail because they don't have a program like this? So whether they end up saying, you know what, violate me, I'd rather go back to, my probation, I'd rather go back into the county jail because I just can't deal with being reintroduced back into society. It's tough, it's challenging. So
when you know you have somebody to be with you through that tough, challenging, vulnerable state,
yeah,
you're more likely to tough it out. When I could look left or right and know that somebody is right there, not just with me, but believing that, encouraging me that I can do this.
Right.
I can put my life back together.
And I think it gives you a sense of belonging, like giving you that address, you belong somewhere, knowing that there are people that, actually care if you come home that next day or come home tonight, or that it's not necessarily accountable, yet also, somebody's going to miss me. Somebody's going to know. And I think that has a sense of, here again, I matter to somebody. I belong, It just helps with the whole community, with aspect, with knowing that you're not alone.
Okay. So as we close up and talk about funding, the Straight Talk support group, the website is www.straighttalksupportgroup.org. And on that website, you all have a PayPal account that can link and donate funding, because again, this is critical. It's critical that we have funding. It's for, as a taxpayer, I'd far rather see programs like this be successful as opposed to my taxpayer money going towards incarceration. So again, that's straighttalksupportgroup.org, and I believe there's a GoFundMe page out there as well for the Straight Talk Support Group. And I guess at some point we can kind of talk about that and make sure that it's clear out there. But also individuals can reach out to the Facebook page. It's a Facebook page. So if anyone's interested in donating, there's a lot of different ways to get in touch with Straight Talk Support Group.